7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Into the next edition of the Vegas Squares podcast. We got another tournament here. The PGA is moving to Detroit, Michigan, Token's old stomping grounds, the Rocket Mortgage Classic.
Yep.
Token, have you played this course? It is the North Course at the Detroit Golf Club.
No, I have not. I have played a couple courses actually in the city of Detroit. Probably my most memorable one was called Rouge Park. It was a decent track. I mean, par 72, some tricky holes, and one really tricky in southeast Michigan. It was like a 450 dogleg left par 4 if you played it from the tips. I think from the other ones, it was about 4 to 420.
All right, my mistake. I let Token get off on a tangent. My bad. Sorry, I'll reel that back in.
I was intrigued by it. I wanted to hear about the holes. Yeah.
Token, you got to take us back to Detroit so we can play some golf in Detroit. Are there potholes on the golf course like there are on the streets?
I'm sure if you find one, yes. I'm sure there's a way to find one. So.
Anyways, well, we got Rocket Mortgage. We do have a thinner field as far as the quote-unquote star-studded events we've had in the last 3 weeks. But nevertheless, we are going to give you our picks and preview this show. Again, it is the Vegas Squares podcast. In the top left, you've got Bobby Digital. New mic for Bobby, so let's see how he sounds. Let's test it here live.
What's up, folks? Hope you can hear me. Good to be back.
Oh, that sounds just delicious.
Get that a lot.
And of course, we got Tony Johnson as well.
Sabbatini. Yep. As always, I'm excited about the field that we have. I've never disliked the field, as you know, throughout our history talking about golf. So.
No, I agree. I just think for a more casual fan, they're going to see some of the names that they're probably used to, not here. Yeah. And I can tell you one thing. When Alex Noren is 80-1 to win a tournament, that means that field is thin.
Just say it. There's a lot of fucking bums in this field. There's a bunch of people who don't belong there.
Hashtag
very fodder.
Hashtag fuck Alex Noren.
I like that.
Yeah,
nice. There could be some value there.
All right, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Yeah. Don't make me mute your new microphone here.
And before we get into the Rocket Mortgage odds, I actually have a Corn Ferry Tour pick this week.
Wow.
That is
we're going there.
That is our buddy.
I haven't even read the sponsors. He's got Corn Ferry Tour picks.
That is Ali Schneiderjans, 28-1.
Schneiderjans, right?
All right.
Yeah.
If he hits, I will buy you a 12-ounce sports T-shirt.
Ooh, nice.
That's nice. Strong. Free roll.
Yeah. So, all right, let me get through the sponsors here. A Corn Ferry fucking tour pick. And right in the beginning, just comes out firing, guns blazing. But we are, of course, as you're watching us on Zingo TV. It is a streaming service on your iPhone, Android device, smart TV, or Roku. Use promo code 12OZ when you're signing up for a new account, and it is 100% free. Also, we are sponsored by 12-Ounce Sports Network, broadcasted in both audio and video formats. You can check out all the shows at 12ozsportsnetwork.com. While you're there, please check out the 12-Ounce store where you can find everything from T-shirts to coffee mugs, beach towels, golf polos, phone cases, etc. All right, got the two main ones out of the way. So, all right, do you have any more Corn Ferry Tour picks that you'd like to share with the class?
That was just the one.
All right, congratulations. Like I said, it is the Rocket Mortgage Classic here from Detroit, Michigan. Of course, I'm all thrown off by Token here. This is the second year of the Rocket Mortgage after the Quicken Loans National, or the AT&T National. I was looking up. That was the old Tiger tournament.
DC area, yep.
Yep. I remember the few of those being at Congressional. That's a cool course. I don't know if you guys ever get a chance to play that. But Tony, looking back at last week, how did it go?
Well, the fortunate thing for me last week is I had very light action because none of that action came home. It was very, very poor. We had 4 matchup bets, only won one of those. Only decided to take 4 guys future-wise, so that was good at least, but really swung and missed pretty badly there. I mean, Patrick Reed made it close based on a good Sunday, but nobody was really all that close, and I feel good about the decisions, at least, that were made, despite the lack of winning, just because these big fields, these 156-person fields, I mean, it's tough. It's very, very hard to find the right guy with the right value, especially with, in my opinion, I think we can maybe talk about this as a whole separate topic, but I think that the books have gotten a lot tighter and a lot better with some of these numbers. Probably because other sports aren't going on, there's no baseball, whatever. I'm surprisingly shocked at how tight some of these numbers have been. So to me, that's just making it more difficult to bet.
With no baseball, basketball, and hockey, which you would argue would take the majority of their focus and attention, the MMA lines, which we talked about last podcast, and the golf lines have probably got a bit sharper. Bobby, you've been on the Kisner train last 2 weeks. It hasn't been successful. Other than that, how did it go for you last week? I know Bubba also, you had him.
Well, I'm not a big fan of betting matchups and stuff like that. I don't really delve into it too deep. I might start firing that a little bit more. I like picking the winner and coming home with, a decent payday and shit like that. But last week was just no good. I mean, Xander was up there for 2 rounds, but then the wind didn't blow and everybody went by him Saturday. And next thing you know, you're 10 back going into the Sunday. And unless you shoot 60, you can't win. So, yeah, last week was a swing and a miss. Nobody got there that I needed to. Xander was on the first page for a while, but then bad weekend took him out of everything.
Yeah, it's tough to win when on moving day everyone moves but you. So,
Exactly.
Token, you're a big matchups guy, and I think you and I both were just futures guys, and it was, it's like finding success here and there, but the matchups is really where it come home. How'd you do last week?
I am not doing as well as probably you did. Matchups were the only thing that kind of got me going. I got a few in round 2 and 3, and then round 4. I took a few decent dog matchups that kind of came home, but just couldn't hit on a decent one that I bet, which was probably the worst golfer of the day. So.
Yeah, it was nice to see Phil Mickelson taking that second round lane too. Guys at 125-1 doesn't really have a lot of left in the tank to hang with these big boys, but it was nice to see him there, even if it was just for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. I was actually pretty successful in matchups. Ironically, I had Spieth over DJ in the first round, which would not have won any of the other 3 rounds, as DJ just wrecked the field. The under 261.5 just got there. I felt really good going into the 4th round that I had no problem getting that bet home, and it turned into a sweat.
Yeah,
let's be honest. DJ didn't play great, on Sunday. He left 2 or 3 shots out there. That easily could have been a 3-shot win.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he definitely made it. I mean, you talk about like Mackenzie Hughes shoots 10 under on day 1 and 7 under the rest of the tournament. It was a very strange, especially with the full event. It was a very strange weekend. So, all right, but we're going to turn the page and move on. And obviously, like I said before, we're going to discuss the Rocket Mortgage Classic. As we do every week, Mr. Tony Johnson gives us a course outline and a course breakdown. So, Tony, I will give it to you.
All right, let's shoot it over. This will be a little bit faster than normal because we don't have a lot of history here. Not a lot known, we know generally, but it's a bit of a mix. So they're playing the north course, but they're borrowing a hole from the south course apparently too. The 3rd or 4th hole is becoming a hole from the south course. I guess it's an entertaining hole, the shorter par 4, but mostly north. It's going to play at 7,340 yards roughly. 4 par 5s, par 72. So that will benefit, as we know, some of the longer hitters, some of the better par 5 players. However, one of those par 5s is, I believe, played the most difficult on the regular tour last year at like 4.85 on average. It's 640 yards and difficult double dog leg. So that's kind of interesting, as that doesn't really give a whole lot of advantage to really anybody specifically. If you have a par 5, it's not very reachable in 2, even I think from Deschambault standards, just because of the way the hole routes. But still have a field here of 156. So I think we're going to see a lot of wide open, just beat down, more so than anything else. I mean, we expected it to go below 20 last week. I think the expectation is the same this week, that we'll get a very, very low number. It's an old school course, Donald Ross course, who was an old Scottish designer from the late 1800s into the early 1900s. Holes go both ways, both left and right. Bent grass pretty much all the way, some POA and a mixed in, but it is mostly a Midwestern style bent grass course. All we have is last year. So last year, if you look at the top 15 that finished in the top 15, which is about 20 players, it was a very mixed bag. The majority of the players were of the shorter hitter variety, short, accurate kind of guys. There were a couple of deeper players, but even your winner, your wire-to-wire winner, Nate Lashley last year, is not a long hitter by any stretch of the imagination. So, it's interesting in that sense. And to give you an idea of how random it can be, Lashley was the last guy in the field. He got in as like the fifth on Wednesday, one wire-to-wire. So, scoring numbers last year, 70.1, which is about 2 under par each day. The cut was -5. So it's going to be, you're going to have to go deep. Yeah, very, very deep. Hot weather all week. Mild wind, maybe a little bit more on the weekend, but 90s it looks like. So a little bit toastier than normal, I think, Token, for that type of area, I would guess. But
and that humidity is going to be killer. It's going to be a rough weekend of golf, I'm sure, weather-wise, but it'll be a pleasant one. I mean, for these guys. These guys love the heat and humid usually, so.
Yeah, ball's going to fly. I think it'll be a lot of fun. A lot of low scores again. Smaller greens, too. So a bit of a similarity to what we've been seeing these first 3 weeks, but there is a little bit more openness off the tee. But, I mean, you're going to be punished in the rough, 4+ inch rough with some smaller greens. So a green shooting contest all the way like it has been the last few weeks.
1.35 million going to the winner. So even though it's a thinner field, you can take home a nice chunk of change here in this purse. DeChambeau is leading the field at 6-1. We've been all over the board with Bryson because it's just I'm done fading him. He's definitely shown that he can T10 any day of the week, but at the same time, we talked about it last week, 390-yard drive and he bogeys a hole. So yeah, a lot of people are 50-50 on this guy, Bobby. What are your thoughts just after seeing him for 3 weeks? Doesn't look like he has the talent to win a tournament. Not saying he can't, but he definitely has the skills and tools to do so.
Well, I'm a big Bryson fan. I love watching him, and from all intents and purposes, he's a real good guy too. Very seldom do you get the good guys, but 6-1, I can't touch him. I think he fits the profile for this week. Everybody's saying, well, it's Bryson week, top 10, but it's also, this is 3 weeks in a row of golf. A lot of extra pounds on that body. Gonna be hot as shit. I'm not sure Bryson DeChambeau is the right guy this week.
Yeah, I read a article today. I don't know if it was golf.com or digest or whatever, but they had his diet posted, and the amount of protein this guy eats is just absurd. He had like 6 eggs, 10 strips of bacon, 3 protein shakes, and that was just breakfast. That was just like, I wanted to throw up just reading the article. But you're right. I mean, the guy looks like a freaking Mack truck. But does that? I mean, hitting the ball 380 yards, Mr. Johnson. How does that translate? The guy's got a pretty decent short game, but he's just not winning.
Well, it's hard to argue with 3 straight top 10s.
I'm saying he's going to be there.
Yeah, you get yourself in position. That's all you can really do. I know that Woods used to mention that very, very often, that all you try to do is not necessarily win tournaments, just get yourself in position. And the more times you can, the more often you are to be successful. I don't know. I mean, he's won certainly before on tour. He's a multiple-time winner, 3 or 4 times. I think he's already won on the PGA Tour. So he clearly can do it. But, again, I'm not buying into this whole – he's made every decision he's made basically throughout his professional career has been pretty much spot on. This is the only one that I'm questioning, because it has not worked with virtually anybody that has done this. Bulking up while trying to increase ball speed and hit the ball further has just not worked. By the way, from 1960 through on. So, in fact, people go the opposite direction usually. So, again, I'm not saying in that regard. What Bobby touched on, which I think is very important, is that there are 5 guys that have played now. This is the 4th straight week and they've made the cut all 3 of those first 3 weeks. And history also tells us that players do not perform well after playing in their 4th straight plus week, 4th, 5th, 6th, and on. It just doesn't. You've only had 2 winners ever in the history of the tour that have done that, and just a lot of missed cuts. It just doesn't work very well. It's tough to do. And these are guys that have made the cut each of those 3 weeks. Again, they're getting all of those rounds in, including all the practice, all the pro-ams, everything. And so that's Stashenbo, Victor Hovland, Doc Redman, Lucas Glover, and Brian Stewart are your 5 guys. Stewart's an interesting guy because he's a local dude, so that might play into something. But those other guys, I'm not necessarily betting against, but I'm not going to be betting pro here. And especially, as Bobby said as well, 6-1. I mean, that's laughable bad stuff. Like, this is a 156-player field, and as much as you want to rag on the field, there's at least 100 guys, at least, that can definitely win this thing, for sure. And again, lastly, I think proved it last year. Just barely getting in the field and winning it wire to wire with ease. So that's where I feel on Deschambault, but certainly have to respect what he's doing and how good his short game has been, as you said, Aaron, too. Really, really quality and tidy short game this last year.
Yeah, that's what really shocked me about some of that stuff. Like you said, he's obviously the T10s are great and Tiger just being there in contention, but at some point, I mean, unless he's just a guy playing for good purses and going to play every week, and he's if he's not playing for the glory, then fine, he's making a fine living for himself. But it just doesn't. I don't know if it translates to, like you said, some of these courses, they're not built for a guy who can hit 380 but can't do much else. So, anyways, so we're going to get into the odds here. Like I said, DeChambeau leads the pack at 6-1 here. Before we do, I just want to let you know, if you guys want to get discounted concert, theater, and sporting event tickets, please use promo code 12ounce at SeatGiant.com. Let's get into the William Hill odds here. Like I said, Bryson DeChambeau leads the field. We're going to look, as we do every week, at the top clump, the middle clump, and then the long shots. So, Bobby, Mr. New Mike, I will start with you. In the first clump with the Bryson DeChambeau at plus 600, down to the area of about 40-1 where your boy Bubba sits. Rest in peace to your tickets from last week. Give me a guy or two in this top clump that you like this week.
I'm going to give you 3 in that clump, and they all hit the ball pretty far. I like Bubba again. I think Bubba's going to get that hot putter going, and next thing you know, it's going to be 63, 63, 63. I like Bubba. I like Ricky Fowler. And I like Tony Finau this week. It's been a while since we've seen Tony Finau out there hitting 380-yard bombs to try to get back in the hunt. So those 3 guys in that first tier, Bubba, Ricky Fowler, Tony Finau.
Yeah, it's amazing. Finau, a guy who's just getting back onto the scene. And you look at, like, Webb Simpson, 11-1, the second favorite, sat out last week with the COVID issues. You got guys like this to get back in. And it's amazing how what did we have Tony Finau at last week? 60-1, and he's cut in half with the field thinning out as much as he did. But all right, Token, top clump.
Yeah, I like one on this list, and that is Kevin Na. I think he has enough in his bag to get the ball down the fairway, as well as the short game. If he does miss the green, he can easily get up and down, and I see that being a big contributor this week to shots lost. And that's where you want to avoid people, is losing shots where they could easily possibly get up and down by finding, like, in the sand, in the rough, around the greens and all that. There's going to be some tricky up and downs, and he's one that I could see easily gaining quite a bit of shots around that area. So,
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, I'm going to be staying very far away from this group. There's nobody that I've found that's even close with value. I did like Snedeker. I didn't get it right away. He opened at around 60 at a lot of places. That would have been a really fine number, but down to 40 is just a no-go. We have a lot of players here in this 40 and below range that have, very little winning, very, very little success recently. And, just a lot of guys that are relatively unproven. It just doesn't – I don't understand. These numbers are way off from the numbers I have. Again, maybe my – numbers are bad. I don't think so personally, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Victor Hovland at 16-1 is Absolutely laughable. I mean, it's just like, that is laughable stuff. Like, I don't understand. And again, I'm a Patrick Reed fan. I've had him the last couple of weeks. I liked him when he was 50 to 1. He's 15 now. I mean, it's just like that. It's gone. Well, there's so much unbettable stuff. So
Well, hold on. What do you attribute that to? As far as, is that more of the fact that the field is thin, or is that more of the fact that if someone who's casual degenerate is looking to bet, they see the names that they may know? Patrick Reed's won a Masters. So if I'm Joe Degen walking into the MGM saying, if I can have some action this weekend while I'm in Vegas, I know Patrick Reed, 15 to 1. Maybe he should be 50 to 1. But if I know Patrick Reed, 50 to 1, sportsbooks saving themselves a little money here by kind of cutting the odds back. What do you think that's more attributed to? That or the fact that the field is thinner?
Well, I'd also like to have a look at the handle from last week, because Dustin Johnson's a fairly big golf name, and whenever fairly big golf names win, usually you get bad numbers in the next week. So that Dustin Johnson win might have caused some damage.
That's potential. DJ was 30 to 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. To start the
tournament, and he moved down after Koepka withdrew. He moved down to into the 20s. From what I understood, the books did fine. Like, they didn't actually take a lot of action on DJ because again, I think it was a shitty number. He happened to win. I mean, it happens, but
somebody has to.
Yeah, from the few that I read of how they did in golf, they did fine, actually. So, it wasn't even a big loss for them. They've done really, really well these first 3 weeks.
I mean,
extremely well.
We don't have a big UFC event this weekend coming up. There's not a ton of action, and to go back to Bobby's COVID that he talks about every week. Based on what's going on in Nevada, this may be the last weekend of Las Vegas casinos. So maybe people are just looking to get their DJ in. And again, I don't know. I'm curious. It's an opinion. There's no wrong answer. I was just curious to see your thoughts on why the numbers are they are. I mean, maybe it's the combination, the field, DJ winning last week, or the fact that, like I said, Joe Degen, like you said, Victor Hovland, there's no reason he should be 16, 18 to 1 at any of these spots. DeChambeau, 6 to 1. Nobody in this field should really be single digits, in my opinion. Nobody in this field is good enough. Like you talked about, Tony, with the track record of a lot of these guys, the success is just not there. 6 to 1 against the field, it's probably a bad example, but maybe not super prime Tiger, but 6 to 1 against the field was like good Tiger. Yeah, and this just ain't it.
No, not even close. So. Yeah, I don't see anybody. A guy I might have liked coming in, Doc Redman, who was second here last year, has been playing great. Again, this is his 4th week after making all the cuts, and he's at 40 to 1. I mean, he was 125 2 weeks ago. You can't. These are just unbettable stuff. So, the only thing I can get behind is I like Seneca at 60. I just think the number's bad here. I'm all for thinking Tony Finau can win at any time, anywhere. So I'm not, really that anti here. I'll push back on a lot of other guys. I'm not a fan of this number at all. Ricky Fowler is giving me absolutely nothing. I think he's my number is 70 on Fowler on a side note. So, yeah, 70. And I think that might be even on the lower side. He does nothing well right now. And I don't like how this
ever since he got married, his swing seems a lot different too.
And his numbers are just terrible. So, again, does he talented? Of course, absolutely. He's a good player. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't like how it's a sponsored tournament either. That tends to create, a lot of extra time. You have to do things, and so I don't know. But I'm staying away from this side, and so hopefully we get a winner from anywhere in the middle to long tier range, because then I'll be happy.
All right. Well, speaking of that middle tier range, we'll move into that for starting with the 50 to 1s. Rory Sabbatini, Jason Day. The guy's name I'm not even going to pretend to try to pronounce. The Sweden Hoot. I like it already.
I like him. He's a good player. I've watched him a lot actually in the Euro Tour. He's a good guy. I like him.
All the way down to another clunker that we had last week, Keegan Bradley at 9 to 1. Token, I'll let you start the middle tier here.
Oh, I absolutely don't like anybody on this list. I see no value in anybody, even Kisner as well. Unfortunately, Bobby, I think 70 is a number, but however, I don't see him coming through this week. Bobby, I kind of like Siwoo, but 71, I see no value in him.
Bobby's motto is, if at first you don't succeed, hedge your bet, double down.
Pound it.
And if you don't succeed again, triple up, take it to the window, and what token?
Light it on fire.
All right.
First of all, I'm a big Kevin Kisner fan. I'm going to bet Kisner until he wins. I don't care
Fair
if it's
enough.
the next 5 years. I'm going to keep firing Kisner until he wins.
Fair
All
enough.
right.
All right, what else you got in this clump?
This clump, I like Keegan again. I like going back to the well. But two guys who I really like this
It's
week.
called the Martingale system, sir.
Yeah. Two guys I like this week.
Enjoys pain.
At 80-1, I like Patrick Rogers. I think Patrick Rogers might be able to put one together this week. And Matthew Wolf. I like Matthew Wolf at the, I think it's 80 to 100 to 1 range. Both of those guys, big bombers. They can find a way to get a hot putter. They can come away with a win.
Well, both those guys, actually, I have them in the long shots. I got
Bobby
Rogers.
cheated.
Yeah, got Patrick Rogers at 100 to 1 and Wolf at 125, but that's all right.
Yeah.
We're good. We know you like the Kisner bet, so we have the Kisner and the Keegan there for you. Alex Noren is staring me in the face, begging me to just torch off some money on here. And give me 80 to 1. So you know what? I'll give him $5 this week.
I think I'm going to give him some too. He's the only guy I have in this numerical range that I have written down. I haven't bet yet.
Playing well.
He's playing really well. Exactly. And a lot of the numbers that we saw, the really good ones from 2018 from him, we're seeing again now. Around the green, he's top 20. His ball striking from 160 and in is top 20. He still struggles a little bit with some longer irons. He's accurate off the tee. He's a heady player. He's a smart dude. It makes a lot of sense, this type of course, too, where you can spray it a little bit off the tee if need be. I kind of like the spot here at 80. I haven't bet it yet. The one I did bet, I did get a good number, though, was on Siwoo Kim. I did get 100, and I know he is plummeted in a lot of places. 70 is a good line compared. I think it's like 60 at Westgate and Stations. So, Siwoo have been waiting. Like, I know I talked about this 3 weeks ago. I've been waiting with Siwoo because of all this great practice rounds that we've heard about and how well he's striking the ball. And he finally put it together on Sunday last week. And I was sort of upset that he did because I thought it might, make the number too low, but maybe not. People know what's going on. But he lost 3 shots to the field putting overall last week, and he still finished like 20th or something like that. So I think Siwoo, again, if he can put it together somehow on the greens, this is my guy this week. So I got him at 100. But the only other name I like is Alex Noren. Aaron, I do think there's some value there. I haven't bet it yet, but that's the only other name I have marked.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll move into the long shots here. Obviously, the first name on there is Patrick Rogers. Thanks, Bobby. We know you like him. All the way down to Luke Donald, Bobby's other guy, 350 to 1. Names in there. Token Schwartzel last week. Nope.
No. Yeah,
Tell you what, though, Kevin Streelman. We talked about him last week. He was the runner-up last week. We talked about previous winners. You guys were salivating over Bubba, but Kevin Streelman quietly put together a second place finish last week too.
yes, he did.
So that leads me to talk about Nate Lashley, the winner last year. 125 to 1 here. Anybody thoughts on the winner last year? I know Tony likes to use the word stock fade, but maybe a couple bucks.
I see at least a little value on that, on him at that value.
If there's anybody who wire to wire last year, like you said, I mean,
hard to do. It's hard to.
He won by 6 shots. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
Well, then I think collectively we should put $6 on him then.
Oh, he's had some wrist issues. I know this year.
He's been home a lot.
Well, maybe that's it. That could be it. I don't know. So I'm not sure he's the same player that he exactly was last year. So I don't know. I mean, it's a stock fade for me. It is. I probably would have used that term too. I'll give you that. It's a stock fade. It's not. I don't hate it. I mean, I don't. It's not a bet I dislike, but it's not something that I'm excited about. I think there's just some better people around that vicinity. Maybe not Charles Schwartzel, but there are certainly some better names. I think so. Even somebody mentioned Luke List or something like that. I mean, that name to me makes more sense. So.
All right. Well, then find me the JB Holmes this week.
For me, again, another guy I've already bet. I think he's down a little bit too. Although I don't know. I haven't looked at. William Hill's been down for a while, but I have big Fratton Patton Kazire at 175 to 1. I don't know if I think he's come down recently too, but I don't really know. He's 100. Okay, yeah, so that's gone. So value's gone there. But at 175, I'm surprised because I expected him to open a little bit less after his really, really quality week last week.
Played
and
well
he's
last
pure
week, yeah.
streak. Yeah, he's just
really
like you
well.
mentioned.
He played really, really well last week too. I mean,
Yeah,
Patton has a tendency to blow up every now and again. You see
Oh,
those
sure.
ugly double squares on the page. He played really well, tee to green.
Agreed. He's a very streaky player, just like Kevin Streelman, like you brought up, Aaron, a guy that can put weeks together and be really, really good and go low. And again, we're going to need minus 20 or better this week. I want a guy that is willing to go low, or he will throw some balls out of bounds, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. If you want to miss the cut, miss the cut. But at least get me close to there if you're going to play well. So, I like Kazire a lot here. Some of the other names I'll throw out, I have not bet these, but they're very close. So I'm going to bet Peter Uline at 150. Again, there's not a lot of actually statistical stuff I'm going by here. It's the fact that Uline is cut similar to Kazire. He is a go for it kind of guy. He plays a very aggressive style of golf. He did have a couple of top 20s earlier this year, so it looks like his game is finally coming around. He was a very talented amateur. And I think people are surprised at how poor he's been early in his professional career. But 150 seems like a pretty good number there. And then I also noted Kevin Chappell at 200 to 1, who was playing with a junior sandbag in his UCLA gear last week, which I thought was kind of interesting. I saw that on the PGA Tour Live. Yeah, I don't know if he's making some sort of statement or whatever, but he's sort of being anti-tour right now, also coming back from an injury, and a guy that, again, doesn't give a fuck about anything and will go low.
Is he an Under Armour guy?
Oh, he's got a 59 on the resume.
Yeah, it's true. Under Armour, no, I don't think he has a clothing sponsor, which is why he was sort of wearing what he was wearing.
Well, I didn't know if maybe he was because Under Armour and UCLA are involved in a real big.
Maybe. Maybe that's it. I don't know. That could be. I honestly didn't hear an explanation.
If he's a UCLA guy, and maybe he's making a statement.
He is. He is. He's a UCLA grad, but I don't know if it's an Under Armour shot or not. I have no idea. Don't know.
I'm reaching, but I was just thinking maybe that something was there.
Yeah. And then Christopher Ventura at 250 to 1, who is a guy that has a really good record on the what's it called, the Korn Ferry Tour now.
Token's favorite.
Yes, Token's favorite tour.
275 now on William Hill.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so 275 now. Younger guy, bigger hitter, one of Bobby's kind of players, and is an aggressive dude who has not had a good record so far this year, but played really well at the end of last year to get on the tour this year. And seeing numbers like this, I'm going to take a shot. He did well at the Korn Ferry one at Sawgrass. He finished like top 15 or something like that. So We'll see. He's had a week off too. So I'll take a shot, I think, with Christopher Ventura. Other than that, that's all I got. I mean, I don't have a lot of names, so I don't think there's a lot of value. There's some really good numbers here. I'm impressed with the odds makers. I really am.
All right, Bobby, will you join me in a moment of silence? My $2 Davis Love the third bet did not come through last week.
Good. Fuck Davis Love. The guy's a jerk anyway. He's been a jerk everyone his entire career.
I can't
it would
hear
have been nice
anything
for you to
because
win a whole
my
bunch of
headphones
money.
are
So,
on.
but fuck Davis Love.
Tell us how you feel, Bobby. Really, I want to hear the real truth.
All I heard was fuck Davis Love. So, all right, I can get down on that.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've got Bobby's inadvertent long shot picks, Token, where you at here?
I've got a few on this chart, and I'm going to start with one that's around one that you'd think I would take, but it's not. And that
Wait, hold on, let me guess. Hold on, let me guess. Look at
Oh, jeez.
Cheng Sung Pan.
No.
Oh, damn. Okay. What do you got?
No, I like Duffner at 150 to 1. I think he has been fairly accurate.
Bobby's reaction is the best.
That guy might as well putt.
Oh,
God.
Oh, man. Sorry. Go on, Token. Go on. That's just funny.
I mean, he's been fairly accurate. I mean, if he can find some greens, I think he can make some relative
God.
putts. But
That's how I approach golf too. If I can find some greens, I get to make some putts.
it might take 5 putts to get in the hole, but
I will tell you this. Full disclosure, guys. You guys, Monday, Token putted a ball off the green.
Oh, I've done it before. I know the feeling. Yes. Yeah.
The greens,
I'm with you, Token.
Those greens at Paiute was like putting on glass, man.
Oh, yeah, it's even harder.
But I did make some pretty remarkable putts.
He did make some good putts, I will say that. But
there you go.
Yeah. So it was a rough day out there. But all right, so you got Duffner. Any others in that long shot field?
Bengali at 225. I really like him at that value, especially with some of the bigger names even missing in this field. And then I think Luke Donald has a little value at 350. I know he's not long off the tee as he probably should be, but I mean, he's fairly accurate. So, and I forgot one more though. Lucas Bergard at 300.
Bergard.
Oh yeah.
All right,
why not? Take a shot. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, those are the 4 that are on my radar.
Matthew Wolff is winning this week. That's my guy. If we had to all put it in a pot and have win only, Matthew Wolff is my winner this week.
I think we should do that. Then we can make T-shirts.
Big Express.
Vegas Squares Golf Podcasts. Listen or lose.
$20.
Unless you bet Kisner.
I got the Kisner 20 here. You want to?
Where's the Kisner fund?
There's the Kisner 20.
Kisner fund, yes.
Kisner.
Nice.
The Kisner
there it
20,
is.
baby.
Wow.
Yeah, he'll get there one of these days. I'm with you, Bobby. He's going to win one of these things. And you can get 80 to 1s or whatever. You're going to make money off this thing. It might take you a couple of years, but you'll make money.
One time.
Why don't we do that this week? Everybody puts in $5, $10, $20, whatever you want the number to be, and pick a guy who finishes the highest.
I'm in. Love it for that.
Perfect.
Is there a constraint, or is there a draft? Like how are we picking people?
Well, if you could both pick the same, if you pick the same guy, we split the pot, which is only like $10.
Absolutely hate that idea. We have to go in some kind of order, and then the very next week the order changes. So you get,
all right. Well,
it does like a rotating.
Yes.
Pick. Yeah.
All right. Well, start thinking of your guy. When we wrap up the show here, we'll make the draft. Since I'm looking at the Zoom, and I won't go first, I'll say Token. I'll say Token, Bobby, myself, and Tony. I think Tony's got the best edge. So
that's right.
Okay.
Right.
And then the 4th place person next week will go to 1, and everybody slides down 1.
I love
Fair
it.
enough.
All right. So let's look at matchups. Token, where are you at on matchups here? Who do you like?
Have none yet. Yeah, I have nothing yet for matchups because I wasn't able to look at any with William Hill being down. But
riveting. Okay, so Tony Johnson.
It was down for a while. It is defense. It was down for a long time. So.
I know. It was just
yeah, but it was funny. Yes. All right. So I haven't bet any yet. It's again one of those things. I don't think there might not be a ton of value here, but I'll give you what I have at least so far. So on the Westgate side, I got Sunjay Im over Victor Hovland plus 100. This is not a sexy pick at all. This is boring as hell, actually. I don't think Im can win. I don't think he can actually win. But I think the floor on Hovland is very low, whereas the floor on Im is incredibly high. So again, this is just a percentage stock pick here at plus 100. There's no, I mean, again, they have the wrong guy favored. So Hovland has a much better chance to miss the cut than Im does. So I definitely like Im over Hovland here. Another one that's intriguing, and I know I get some pushback at least from Token because I know he said he liked Kevin Na in the tournament, but Tony Finau minus 120 over Kevin Na. Again, it's a floor to ceiling situation. So Finau, since we've been back, has played every round under par. Now he missed a cut, having 2 rounds under par, believe it or not. But all 10 rounds he's played, he's been under par. Kevin Na had that injury a few weeks ago. And again, looked great last week, no doubt about that. But I just, from a ceiling floor perspective, I like what I'm getting with Tony Finau. We know what we're getting. We know he'll pound the rock, and he can just play anywhere. So those are the two that I have so far. It looks like Sung J M is plus 110 on William Hill here over Hovland. So there you go. An even better line. Even better, plus 110. Excellent. But that's all I have for matchups so far.
And Bobby, matchups, your boy Matt Wolf is even over Lanto Griffin at minus 120.
Oh, get him, Bobby. Get him.
Oh, you got it. Hey, I don't know where to bet it. I don't know how to bet it, but they got my money if you want it. Matter of fact, Tony Johnson, I got one for you. My boy Ricky Fowler, I think, is 109 over Hideki. You want any part of that?
109 over Hideki. Oh, I'm not a big fan of Matsu in this tournament either.
Plus 109? What is that?
Oh, yes, plus 109. Sorry.
You can get him at plus 135 on William Hill. Why you only taking 109 with Tony?
That's just what I happen to look at here. What am I looking at? I was looking at the Action Network, and they had him at 115. I beg your pardon, 115.
Yeah, Ricky's 135 plus 135 right now, William Hill.
That's about the line. I mean, no, I think that's about the line that it should be. Again, but I don't want any part of Matsu, so I would like to take your action, Bobby, but I don't want Matsu. I don't want him.
All right.
I don't want him.
That's
so fair. Yeah. But I hope you bet him and I hope he wins, and I hope he beats Matsu. So there you go.
I like you.
Yeah.
Why I like you.
All right, so we got Lashley winning last year at minus 25. The 72-hole score right now is over under 266 and a half.
266.
With the over being plus 105, under 120 or under minus 125. Anybody got any thoughts or action on that?
That's 22 deep. Wow. Jeez.
That's too risky in my opinion.
Yeah,
well, we don't have a big sample size.
Million, right?
Huh?
Is that what it is? 22? Did we do the math right?
22, yeah, it's 288, yeah.
22 under wins. 22 under wins.
Hot. Fuck that. No,
a little much, yeah. I would agree. I mean, if I had to bet a side, I'm with Bobby. I think that's again. There's only one guy that was more than 22 last week, and everybody else was 18 or lower, or something like that. You know, it was really only one dude that lapped the field. I would be careful. I'd be careful as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be behind that one. I bet those.
But it's not even worth laying the juice at 125.
I don't think so. Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of an avoid, unfortunately. Yeah.
Especially when it could be over come Saturday if the leader's at 11 or something.
It's true. Defensive golf.
That'd be a shocker though. At 11 on this course.
Where do you see this at then? Probably 17, 18?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's a terrible line, but like 20 sounds good. You know, I don't know. So it's just the line is probably where it should be. No, I think 17 or 18 is a little low. I think you'll have quite a few players in the 17, 18 range. Yeah, there's four par fives, and not a very difficult course. So yeah, they should be able to get after it, I would think.
And I hope Jack is watching. And in 2 weeks they go down there for Memorial, and that rough is 5.5 inches, and the greens are lightning fast. Because I'm sure Jack would like to see a winner be about -7 instead of -20. So let's hope that first week of Memorial, go ahead and let them play their little charity nonsense tournament for a PGA title. But that second week, Jack's actual tournament, let's hope everything is grown up high and it's a little bit tougher.
Those older guys do like the tournaments that have lower scores. I don't know if that's just a testament to their time in the game, and I don't know, but I sometimes I kind of like that too. Like when everybody now Shinnecock Hills, the course was rough, but I liked the Webb Simpson winning the U.S. Open at +1 and the Brooks Koepka's at +1. You know, I don't know. Maybe it just brings back brings them back to my level a little bit. 20 under, I could never dream of shooting, but +1, I may be able to achieve that one day.
And we don't need +3 every week. Just go ahead 3 or 4 times a year. Just let that rough grow up a little bit and putting in the bathtub, and let's watch the boys struggle a little bit and have the winner be -3 or something like that.
Sure.
Let's hope Jack is watching. Jack's a good man, so let's hope that -7 for that Jack.
That's fair.
Do you know anything about the first course they're playing, Muirfield Golf Club, Bobby? I don't know if you know the area very well, but I don't know anything about this tournament they're playing next week. I don't know anything about the course.
Firestone?
They're just pulling. They're pulling a a NASCAR. They're just doing 2 in 2 weeks. The first one, it's going to be airfield, a little nicer, they said. The pins won't be, so they're just playing the same thing.
All right, Bobby, we didn't catch any of that.
What happened?
You froze. So.
You froze out a little bit.
Got it.
You were just getting into it, too.
You were getting into it, yeah.
Would you like me to try again?
Yeah, go for it. It sounded important.
All right. That first week, they're basically playing Muirfield, just diet Muirfield. The pins won't be as hard, and the rough won't be as high. And then the following week, they're playing Jack's tournament, where it'll be the rough up high and the tougher pins.
But it's a different course, though? Is it a different course, I thought? Yes?
Same course.
Oh, I thought it was 2 different courses. Okay.
No.
Never mind then. Okay. Got it. All right. I'm good.
All right, fair enough. All right, boys, you ready for the draft?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
All right, what are we putting? $10? Winner take all?
I'll do 10, yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going 4th, so yeah, the lower the better. Yeah, for sure.
All right, with the first pick in the Vegas Squares D-Gen Who Does Better, Token Tony selects.
High finish, right?
Highest finish, and if we all miss the cut, it rolls over.
Yeah, that nobody should win. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's
good rule.
I feel like I'm actually a Detroit team picker because they usually have the first overall pick now. I'm going to,
and you're going to fuck it up just like they do. So perfect. Good luck.
Yeah. So earmuffs on this one. I'm going to take Jason Day.
You had the choice of anybody. You took Jason Day.
I took Jason Day.
That's a Detroit Lion, right? From long ago.
I'm sorry. With the first pick, Matt Millen selects. All right, Bobby. Jason Day is off the board.
This is where I'm supposed to be the biggest nit in the world and pick Bryson DeChambeau and the 6-1, but I'm not going to do it. I'm taking Tony Finau, 29-1. I mean, Matt Wolff is going to be the guy who I want to win the tournament. I think he's got the biggest return for me. But if I'm playing against just 4 guys, got to go a little bit safer. Tony Finau.
Good pick.
All right. Well, I am going to be the nit. I'll take Mr. Protein Shake himself.
Oh.
I was going to point it. If you didn't take him, I wasn't going to take him either. But okay, fair enough.
You get the first pick next week.
He's going to have the protein shanks this week.
No.
Hazel.
Nice.
I'm sorry. Remind us who your pick was again?
Jason Day.
All right. He'll be gone by the 3rd day of the tournament.
Ah.
Wow, this is a tough selection. Yeah. I actually really like – I might have gone somewhere in the Finau direction if he was still there. That makes some sense. I don't like Hovland or Matsu at all. Patrick Reed, I don't do Tyrrell. All right, I'll go ahead and I'll take Patrick Reed. I mean, I would never do this for a value perspective, but at least I'm pretty confident we're going to make the cut, and I can give those other 3 guys a run for it. So,
I figure you got Patrick Reed at 4-1 to beat 3 other guys, so it's not so bad.
Not terrible. So we'll go with Reed. But yeah, all right. I like this. This is a nice little contest we got going on. I like it.
All right, so all right, guys, I got to do it.
All right, while you do that, hold on. I got to show you guys what I got today. Go ahead and read the ads.
While Bobby goes and gets whatever the hell he's getting, if you're tired of the same old bag of bland beef jerky, then grab a bag of Wicked Cuts today. The most tender jerky you can get your hands on. 2 new flavors have arrived. The Applewood Smoked and Token the Carolina Killer.
Delicious.
If you want to get 20% off at checkout, so pick up a bag today. Again, wickedcuts.co. Also, Fat T's Barbecue, the most delicious barbecue in the Albuquerque, New Mexico. Is that the 12th at Augusta?
Golf oil painting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
very nice.
Yeah, it does look like it's 12 at Augusta.
What is that? Pink dogwood or I can't.
Golden Bell.
Golden Bell. Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
All right. If you're looking for the most delicious barbecue in Albuquerque, please check out Fat T's Barbecue. Smoked prime Angus biscuit, bone-in pork shoulder, chicken corners with delicious sides including green chili, cream corn, mac and cheese, borracho baked beans. You can get it delivered, vacuum sealed meat by the pound for free. Check them out online at fatteasfood.com. And of course, the OG sponsor, ChaiPoker.com, founded in January 2016 as an organization dedicated to poker and charity. Chai, the Hebrew word for life, mixed with poker, is the poker life. All right, boys. We got Rocket Mortgage coming up. We got, show me that Kisner money again.
The Kisner 20.
There it is.
There he is. Nice.
I want you to make a video.
20, baby.
I want you to make a video of you handing that to the guy at the window.
I like to use the machine, but yes, I can do that. I got Facebook Live, Kisner 20 every week.
No, make a video or just Facebook. I need a video I can save so I can put it on the Twitter.
I can do that. All right, you got it.
I like how Bobby's a machine guy. Doesn't use the app. Doesn't go to the window. Just likes the machines. I like that. You're very specific with what you like. I like it.
What machines? Enlighten me. What are those machines?
I always go to the same machine at the MGM. It's right next to the sports book, and there's nobody around it. And I refuse to stand by anybody. Like if they're waiting in line, I'll go back. I'll come back, and I'll do it later.
Is this new for COVID? I don't remember that before the casinos closed in March.
Oh no, it's great because I called him one day and I was like, "What time? How late are you going to have people?" It was a Wednesday. How late are you going to have people in the book? To take bets and whatever. And he goes, "We're out of here at 5 p.m." I'm like, "What the fuck? I want to get some stuff." And he goes, "Just do it at the kiosk." And I was like, "Kiosk? Oh, that's the best thing in the world." Yeah. So.
The D-Gen machine.
Kiosk. It's real easy. Drag and drop. It's wonderful.
New York has a kiosk I've used as well. It was very user friendly, I must say.
Dude, there's a PT's down the street that I can just put money in and funnel. It's like 4 minutes down the road. I love it.
That's Will Hill. He doesn't want Will Hill. He wants MGM. He's betting MGM.
That's right.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Come on, Aaron.
Get your Don't cancel me, bro. Don't cancel me.
You better mute my ass.
I should have done that with the sponsorship reads.
Oh,
although this one was pretty tame. So, all right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Good luck on your bets. You can catch us again on 12ouncesportsradio.com. Click our Vegas Squares show tab. Also, we're going to be on Zingo TV. I will tweet out the air times for that on our Twitter at Vegas Squares. You can catch us always at Zingo TV and 12ouncesportsradio.com. For Bobby Digital, for Tony Johnson, for Token Tony, Mr. Charles Schwartzel, nutsack holder himself.
Not this week, though.
That's true. You didn't bet on him, but you're still got his nuts in your pocket.
Partially root for him, but
we need him at the Masters. That's what we need, Token.
Absolutely.
That's where we need him. Yes.
That's car money.
That's literal car money.
Fair enough. All right, gentlemen. I am Aaron. We appreciate you listening. Good luck on your bets. Follow us on Twitter at Vegas Squares. We will catch you on the next one.